Alright, people, this is a good topic today. How to build muscle. This is for all you fellas looking to get a little bulkier or put on a little muscle so to fill up the frame, so the t-shirt fit better. Or even ladies, you might want to get thicker legs, a bigger butt, the usual requirements that I would have most clients come to me for. So today's topic is how to build muscle. Alright, so I've broken it down into a pyramid in terms of the level of importance, starting from most important to the things that you should consider, once you have your bases covered. Alright, so the first and most important thing when it comes to building muscle would be nutrition. If you have the training right, but the nutrition is not on point, you are not going to be as efficient in building muscle. And in fact, if you are training intensely enough to build muscle but your training is not correct, you can actually just end up injuring yourself or causing bodily harm. So let's address nutrition first. Now this is an area that took me years to figure out. Over time I may have gotten the theoretical knowledge, but applying it is something completely different. So let's learn from my mistakes. So the first thing you want to know about nutrition for building muscle is you have to be in a positive energy balance. All that simply means is you have to be taking in more calories than your body requires to maintain its level of weight, its current body weight. So if you are, let's say if your body requires 2,500 calories to maintain your current weight, you want to take in between 3 to 500 calories more than your maintenance calories, right? So you should be taking in anywhere between 2,800 to 3,000 calories, and I'm just using this as an example, right? So positive energy balance, that's the basics you need to know. There are a few things that you could do to calculate this. There are, a lot of online calculators that you can go online that will calculate your maintenance calories for you. You just have to type in your body weight, your height and activity level, and it would work out the rest for you. And then I'm going to actually show you how you should break down your calories from there. Then there are apps that you can use as well. A good one is MyFitnessPal, so you can give that a look and download it. So once you figure out your caloric needs, then you have to look at the breakdown of the calories. So we're talking about proteins, carbs, and fats. When it comes to building muscle, I would say the most important macronutrient, these are called macronutrients, would be protein. You want to be taking in between 1.2 to 1.7 grams per kilogram of body weight. Now in previous years, that number was a lot higher. The figures typically came from bodybuilders, and which tend to overconsume protein a little bit. But studies have shown that higher protein intakes do result in more muscle mass, and about 1.7 being the top end. So let's say somebody who weighs 100 pounds, somebody who weighs 100 pounds, you divide that by 2.2 would lead to a little bit more than 50 pounds. So that person will require anywhere between like 90 grams of protein and upwards. And yeah, it's not ideal that somebody can be weighing 100 pounds, unless you're me when I started, but you get what I'm saying. So you want to take in 1.2 to 1.7 grams per kilogram of body weight. Each gram of protein equates to about 4 calories. So you should be able to work that out from your overall caloric needs, and you would subtract that amount of protein in calories. Once you've figured out your protein requirements, you then move on to your fat intake. So and this is healthy fat. So we're talking about things like avocados, olive oil, egg yolks, nuts, and those are sources. That should be about 30% of your calorie intake. And a lot of people give fat a bad rep because they think that taking in fat will make them fat, but that's not how it works. Um, so 30% of your calories should come from fats, and the reason for this is to make sure that you are producing optimal levels of testosterone, right? Because fat intake helps helps with testosterone and hormone regulation. And then for the remainder of calories, no, you want to use that for your carbs. The reason you'll be able to get away with levels of protein as well is because carbohydrates are protein sparing. So if you're taking in the required amount of carbs, it will lessen the need for as much protein. Right? The next thing is meal frequency. Now this is something I realized over the years is highly individual. So for instance, the general recommendation is that your protein intake, your meal intake should be every 2 to 3 hours. Yes, I find that is good for maintaining energy levels, preventing you from getting hungry, and just overall balancing your mood, because when you're hungry obviously it affects how you behave or how you perceive situations, how you may react to situations. However, that might not be the most feasible thing for most people. So if you have, let's say, have had clients who are medical professionals who go particularly long hours before getting to eat, having them eat 2 to 3 hours every 2 to 3 hours might have been a little tougher for them. The important thing to note is once you're getting in your calorie requirements for the day, you are still able to make progress. So once the research, reflected that, it helped ease people's mindset a lot towards, how they go about getting in their calories for the day. So if it is that their schedule allowed them to eat a heavy breakfast and then they were constantly on the go for like 5-6 hours on end before they had a chance to get another meal, what you will want to do is make sure that those meals were large enough that they would still be able to get in all of their calories for the day and not feel like it is hampering their fitness progress at any day. So if you had to take in 2,000 calories rather than taking in nice evenly spaced out meals about 300 calories each, your breakfast might be pretty heavy, consisting of 700 to 800 calories, then a heavy lunch, and then a protein shake or a dinner to make up the rest of the calories. So once you are able to get in all your calories for the day, that is the main objective. If you can, reach the ideal recommendations of getting in meals every 2 to 3 hours, and the main reason for that is protein synthesis. So once protein is being ingested regularly, it allows your body to be what you call in an anabolic state. So you are in a state of higher protein synthesis throughout the day. But if you're getting your overall calories, that's just as good. After that, we're talking about pre-workout and post-workout. Now, this is normally one of the initial questions clients ask: how soon before a workout should I eat? How long after a workout should I eat? And having worked with a lot of people, I can tell you this varies a lot as well. So I give general recommendations, but then I also pay attention to clients and have them give me feedback to see what works best for them. So some people might not be able to eat too close to a workout, otherwise it makes them feel sick. So they may choose to eat a heavier meal, let's say maybe an hour before, and that will help them get through the workout. Some people don't prefer to eat heavy before training sessions, so they may eat something like maybe a fruit and drink a protein shake about 20 to 30 minutes before the workout. Some people prefer to train early on in the morning on a fairly empty stomach, so for them sometimes we may just recommend taking in some coffee to get caffeine, maybe branched chain amino acids to stop muscle breakdown and give them the energy that they need to get through the workout. Or even a fruit, a banana or an apple is a good pre-workout snack as well. Post-workout now, again, highly individual. Some people prefer to take in a protein shake right after the workout and they're fine with that. For others, that may actually upset their stomach. They may need a little time after the workout for their body to settle down and then prefer to take in a larger meal. So again, experiment and find out what works for you. Each person's body and method of how they go about this is going to be slightly different. So that's it for nutrition. Water intake. Forgot to mention this. Water intake is very important. You should be taking in half your body weight in ounces of water per day. So if you're a 200-pound meal, like I am, you should be aiming for about 100 ounces of water per day. And if you can't, calculate it, at least 8 glasses of water. So that's a glass before a meal and a glass after if you're eating 4 times a day. And that's more simple. Things that can affect your water requirements can be like your work environment, for instance. If you are somebody that, let's say you're a construction worker and you spend a lot of time outside in the sun, working very, physically demanding jobs, your water intake is going to be higher than somebody who's sitting down in an office in AC, right? So just keep that in mind as well. So that's it for nutrition. The next thing we're going to move on to is training.